Hey, it's Tara and it's time for Sunday Reads. This week I finished 3 books. I finally finished Eoin Colfer's The Wish List. I read Hot Lead Cold Iron by Marnell and The City Not Long After by Pat Murphy. So the first book I'll talk about is Hot Lead Cold Iron by Marnell. It was published in 2014 and it's 400 pages long. It is set in 1932 Chicago and Mick Oberon is a wand-wielding, hard-boiled Fey PI. Due to unrevealed but hinted at circumstances, Mick has self-exiled himself from his homeland and lives in the increasingly hostile land of humans. Not because humans want to kill him, some of them do of course, but most of them don't know that Fae even exist. But because iron is painful and eventually lethal to the Fae, and industrialization and those darn motor cars are really screwing things up for him. So Mick mostly sticks to more mundane cases, but then someone makes him an offer he can't refuse. Suddenly he's knee-deep in all kinds of things he doesn't want, like a visit back home where he's less than popular, and he's in mortal danger. So he's a genuinely good guy, but manages to fit into a morally gray area, which is kind of a feat all in itself, I would say. The magic system is plain but functional and a little interesting, but the characters lack some depth, which I mostly contribute to the overwhelmingly cheesy and troped up world they're living in. That being said, there certainly was a decent amount of action and some unexpected twists that made it a pretty good read. I'd recommend it for any people who like the idea of hard-boiled fantasy and don't mind a bit of overkill in the period dialogue. The next book is The City Not Long After by Pat Murphy, which is around 250 pages. It was published in 1989 and was recently republished in ebook format in 2006, so many of her works are now available. It's set in a vague modern-era San Francisco about 20 years after a breakdown of the world as we know it. The technology before the apocalypse isn't too specific, so it's pretty flexible for the moment. The city in question here is San Francisco, population not that many. After a plague that kills off the majority of the humans in the world, San Francisco is left to artists and farmers. And it's pretty amazing what an unlimited supply and the world is your canvas attitude can produce in regards to art. Unfortunately, those endless supplies is one of the things that makes it a target of uber-patriotic, self-appointed General Four-Star, who is trying to rebuild America. It's a beautiful story exploring peace as an answer to war, and it's incredibly well done. It has a really nice atmosphere and really lovely storytelling. I won't say any more here because I'm going to do a separate review of it later, and I will post that sometime this week. And the last book is The Wish List by Eoin Colfer. I finished it last night, and I think it's taken me like 3 weeks or more to read it. I just wasn't that into it. It was published in 2004, and it's also about 250 pages. It's set in the present day, like 2004 Ireland. Meg is the main character, and she was dealt a pretty poor hand by fate. Her father abandoned her and her mother when she was really young, and then her wonderful, hardworking mother with terrible taste in men married Franco, who made both their lives a living hell. A bit of a troublemaker, Meg gets herself into debt with a local hooligan, Belch, nice name by the way, who calls in the favor by having her help him burgle grumpy old Mr. Lowry. Things go wrong and Meg ends up dead, but then she finds that even the afterlife wants to give her a hard time. She's 50% good and 50% bad, so her soul is up for grabs. She has one chance to redeem herself, help dying old Lowry complete his bucket list. It's not a bad book, but the juvenile humor often falls flat. I've read several of his books, and while he does often employ juvenile humor, it's usually good for a laugh, just not this time. It is nice to see a book set in Ireland for a change. It's Colfer's homeland, so I give it props for that and an amusing enough story. It's not really a recommendation though. I'd recommend Half Moon Detective and Artemis Fowl before that. I am currently reading The Fall of Hyperion by Dan Simmons, the second in the Hyperion Cantos with Rachel from Colonnati, and I am so excited to be rereading this book, especially with her, as she's reading it the first time, so it's a really good experience, and I'm looking forward to that. We're about 30% in right now, and we'll probably finish it this week sometime, probably. And I'm also reading The Water Knife by Paolo Bacigalupi. I am super stoked about this one. I have been waiting for, I don't know, a year, but I haven't started it yet. I'm going to start it probably tomorrow or the next day. I must say that with his works, they're never really anything like 100% amazing. But there's just something about the atmosphere and the writing style that really appeals to me and keeps me coming back for more, even though the stories aren't, you know, perfect. But I always really look forward to any time he publishes a book, so I'm looking forward to this one. Yesterday I received a package from my mother, mostly full of things that I had bought and ordered from America, but she also sent me some goodies like Miracle Whip. For anybody who doesn't know what this is, it is deliciousness. It's like mayonnaise, but sweeter, I guess. And she also sent me some new teas from Bigelow, salted caramel, which is phenomenal, let me tell you. I don't add any sugar, and it is just heavenly. And also vanilla chai, which I'm looking forward to. And another thing, I really wanted like a cinnamon tea latte the other day, so I didn't want to steam the milk on the stove because I'm really lazy, and no, but I have a jar that my honey came in. It's a glass jar, and it's the perfect size for like half a cup of milk. So I microwaved that bad boy for 35 seconds, put the lid on, and shook it up, and made a double strong batch of cinnamon tea from loose leaf, and then mixed them together with some honey, and it was so delicious, and it's my new favorite drink. So I will probably have one of those tonight. Anyways, that's everything that's going on in Terraland. After this, I will film a review of The City Not Long After, so you can look forward to that. And maybe I will hopefully get back to editing and uploading older reviews from, you know, middle of last year sometime, so I can finally finish this up. I hope you're all doing well and you're having an awesome weekend. Please let me know if you have any interesting plans. What are you reading? What's up? Fill me in, basically. And I guess that's it. So until next time.